host, Angelique Robb. Today, Mike Watts is joining us from Synced, and our special guest is Tom Rowe from Dauer Manufacturing. Welcome to the show, Tom.
Thank you, Angelique. Thanks, Mike.
Of course.
We're excited to have you, and you're one of our special silver sponsors for Synced Live. So, looking forward to having you live in person in Atlanta. So, yeah, thanks for joining us on the show. And let's start with, you joining Dauer. I remember the press release when you got announced.
Yes,
We were
indeed.
just starting. So, yeah, let us know how you came to join Dauer.
Well, first and foremost, thanks for having me this afternoon. All of us at Dauer are super stoked about joining you guys at Synced in January. Can't wait to see everybody there and be a first time participant in it, if you will. So really looking forward to that. So again, thank you for that. So I've been in this industry for 18 years. And when I say this industry, it's certainly the landscape lighting industry, both in the design build market to the mow and blow landscaper to the architect to the designer. And so for 15 of my past years, I was with a company called Kichler Lighting and helped them start the landscape lighting division back in the day,
Oh,
if you will,
wow.
before there was LEDs, basically just a filament and some wire and some hope. And we helped them develop a pretty solid brand in our industry. And then one thing came to the other, and which basically meant that when large corporations come in and buy other corporations, sometimes people aren't fit for corporate life, and I was one of those people that were not fit for corporate life. So I took a look around in the industry and found a very similar business model as the old Kichler family style of business, and that was Dauer Manufacturing. So I joined them in June of 2020, and so going into almost 5 years with these guys, and it's been a phenomenal ride.
That's amazing. I didn't know that you started the landscape lighting for Kichler. That's, yeah,
I was
it
one of
sounds, yeah, quite
one
the
of a half a
journey.
dozen.
Awesome. Well,
Very
and
cool.
so why did you choose Dower? And, you kind of alluded to it, that it was
Sure.
a
So what
smaller.
so Dowers believes in the customer principles, which is number one, you put the customer first, and then you take care of and then you take care of the company. A lot of people believe in taking care of the company first, and the customers will follow. Sometimes that's an interesting approach, but Sam Minoff, that created Kichler, believed in customer acquisition costs. That it takes a lot of investment in time to develop a customer and the relationships and the trust that people have in the industry. And we're such a small industry, regardless if you're a lighting contractor or you're a hardscape contractor or whatever contractor or specify you are, it takes a long time to build trust. And once you get that trust, you have to keep that and deserve that. And that so when I came to work for Dauer, it had the same family values that not only is my family brought up on, but in the business world, what their family's built upon. So they have allowed us to do a heck of a lot of changes in these past 5 years. To give you an example, um, I didn't even know who Dauer was 5 years ago. And between what Craig Comparens, the owner, has done, and Gina and the team around us, we've done, I think, fairly well improving that trust and um, the desire to listen to the customer. And I think that's one of the things that makes Dauer different, is that everybody in this industry says, we'll listen to the customer. We'll listen to the customer. Some manufacturers, I don't know if they really believe that. They bring customers in, ask for opinions, but their drawing board's pretty much already drawn up for that year. At Dauer, what happens with us is that we actually listen to our customer. We put it on a whiteboard. We try to test it out. We try to make new products. And we try to make it better for them all the way around. And without playing the manufacturer's game of price increases and supply chain and things like that. But that was a long answer to your question, but that's the reason I joined Dauer.
That's what podcasts are for, right?
I guess so.
meant
Long-winded
for meant
salespeople.
We're meant for long answers. Yeah, I like that. Well, I
Yeah,
mean, and this is about getting to know you and getting to know your journey through and joining Dauer. So I think that says a lot. And so give us some examples of what kind of projects you guys have been working on since you've been
sure.
there. I mean,
I
yeah.
mean, so Dauer was founded almost 23 years ago, and they were pretty much an East Coast company that just sold drop-in light bulbs. Which, if you're going to
Okay.
expand into landscape lighting, you need to put something in that or have a fixture put that light bulb in, right? And so they had a very limited line. Basically, did business in the Northeast and in Florida. And so what we brought to the table, when I say we brought some people along with Kitchler, and then we brought Gino along, and we really created a marketing plan built around process. So the process had to be started before we had product, and then we had to finally get people to implement the processes and the product. So that was the ground zero of Dauer. We rebranded our entire company in 2020. Uh, Decided that we'd go out to distribution in 2021, and we really hit the road in a grassroots effort, if you will. Basically, asking our distributors to trust us, to go back on the history that we have developed over the past 18 years with other brands and things like that, and just have an honest approach of opens up our book of this is how much money that we're willing to make. This is how much money I think I can make you, and this is how much money I think I can make a contractor. And if we tell those stories and build upon story after story, successful distributor, successful contractor, successful homeowner, then you have something to be proud of. And so what we did in 2021, after we rebranded it, we created a heck of a lot of incentives for distributors and contractors to jump on board, from our Power Play Rewards program, which is by far one of the most powerful tools in this industry, rewarding contractors not only with product, with training, with incentive trips, et cetera, et cetera. We did that. We created, I'm talking about, listening to the customer. We had basically 35 SKUs in our line. And now today, arguably, we have close to like a couple of hundred. And so we have developed more
Wow.
landscape lighting SKUs than any other manufacturer, primarily due because of the contractor feedback. So we did that. And then one of the things that we are very proud of, and if some of your manufacturers are listening to this, they might take a drink and shake their head and say, I can't believe you said that. But I'm going to say it. We have not had a price increase in 2020, since 2020. So almost 5 years, we've not had a price increase, which is
It's
pretty
remarkable.
remarkable. We
Yeah.
haven't had a supply chain issue, which is pretty remarkable for a company under 50 people. So those are the things that we have just built our business upon, of trust and reliability and listen to the customer. And for example, we if a customer wants something special, we can do that in Nashville because we have the resources and the manufacturing facility to do that. If somebody wants an add-on to do a fixture, if they want something pink, they want something purple, they want something Georgia red, since the Bulldogs just won the other night, I guess we can do that. And there's not a whole heck of a lot of no's at Dauer. That was another long answer.
Was the was the rebranding a byproduct of COVID at all, or is that just a coincidence? The timing.
Um, no, the rebranding was because the brand was poor, in my opinion. So it was not
Gotcha.
sexy. It was not noticeable. It wasn't North American known. So that's the reason why we rebranded it. If you're going to start fresh, you got to start from
Dauer.
from everywhere,
Yeah.
and we needed it. Another good
Well, and
example.
tell us. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, another good example is something that nobody in this industry has done, um, which a distributor and contractors in Texas said, hey, you know what? You guys have been talking about that. You want to go after the Spanish market, the Spanish worker, the Spanish landscaper, the owner, etc. They said, well, why don't I have literature in Spanish? Why don't I have a website in Spanish? So we were the first manufacturer to create a Spanish only. So those are just some prime examples of listening to the customer and trying to make our brand and their brand better.
You had mentioned a lot of new SKUs. How quick was the turnaround from a new product after hearing the consumer feedback? Was that as quick as possible?
So typically the way it works in our industry is it's a 2.5 to 4 year wait. We can turn around product in a CNC machine, and as long as we get UL approval, and that's key in our industry, is that all of our product is UL listed with exception of one, and that's because it has a flame on top, and of course that's not really kosher with UL. But it takes us about 15 to 18 months to create new product, and now it's actually a little bit less. So we can do it about under a year and a half. Some of it possibly even under a year. So all of our molds are our molds. A lot of people will look and say, well, a Dr. Pepper can looks like a Coke can, looks like a Pepsi can, and that's the way the landscape lighting industry is. Well, if you look at one fixture to the next, yeah, if you visually look at it, that could be, right? But when you open it up and test it and heat it and do all the things that we do to a fixture, and a lot of other brands do testing and everything like that, which is key. So to answer your question,
Yeah.
less than a year.
Excellent.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, and one of the products that I've seen that I thought, wow, this is amazing, is that you have these bollards that I've
Yeah.
seen like even company logos in. And so tell us, is that one of the new SKUs that came up in the last few years?
Actually, it came with
Or,
us. So it's one of the few
oh, did
SKUs
it?
that came with us. We just didn't market it very well. And that's what Gina's done extremely well. So we were expanding our bollard line. So our bollards are 100% made and resourced here in Nashville, Tennessee. So we're very proud of that. They are made to order. And when I say made to order, a lot of people go, oh my gosh, I don't want to do that because it's going to take 12 to 16 weeks. We can do a custom made bollard in 6 weeks or less. We do
Wow.
corporate logos. We do brands, family brands. We do, like, we're working on one right now for the University of Colorado, and I'm from Colorado. That's where I'm at right now. God forbid, that ugly gold that's going to be on this bollard, but here nor there. It's gonna have a buffalo in the middle of it, and so when it lights up, it's actually gonna have a buffalo on the ground, which is pretty cool. So,
Wow.
That
I
is
love
neat.
that.
and they're
Yeah,
not,
I
believe it
think
or not,
throwing
they're
the
not.
shadows,
Yeah,
the shadows are like part of the design, huh? I mean, you
it
need
is.
to
So
make sure that they're visible and
yeah, so it is. I mean, it's pretty cool. So what happens is the customer submits their logo. We do a quick mock-up in a drawing on a CNC machine. We light it up. We take a picture of this to make sure that the client is pretty happy with what they're going to see on the ground. Because the last thing we want to do, of course, is take somebody's money and then all of a sudden there's a big blob on the ground, and it's like, that's not a buffalo. So yeah, so the bollards are phenomenal. It takes, like I said, 6 weeks or less to do. They're not that much money compared to most commercial bollards, so one would be surprised on the affordability of that product. Actually, quite frankly, surprised about the affordability of all of our product. So
What's the
awesome.
ratio between commercial and residential? How much
So right
do
now
you
we
guys do?
do about 80% residential and 20% commercial. We're proud that we're about ready to launch a couple new divisions of Dauer. And I say proud of that. We've been working on it for about 5 months now. We're going to have Dauer Commercial coming up that we're going to launch in January of 2025. And then we're going to get into the permanent architectural lighting business that we are going to be displaying at Synced in January, I
Wow.
hope, which will be, it's going to be called Omni by Dauer, which is some like to say it's permanent holiday lighting, but it goes much further than that. It goes into commercial spaces. One could say, yes, you could do permanent holiday lighting around your home, but we're going to be launching that in January as well. So we're trying to be a
Wow.
multi branding company that you can rely on in all channels. We do quite
That's
also.
huge. So
We're also in the hardscape business, and that's a big portion of our business. The design build contractor is extremely important to us, and one of the reasons why, everybody asks me, hey, how's the economy doing? How, is the economy going to go down? Is the election year a big thing? You know who I ask? The design build contractor. And the reason being is because that design build contractor knows what they have had on the books for a year to 2 years and what's coming up in a year or 2 years. So one contractor
100%.
says to the next, oh my gosh, we don't have as much on the books as we did in 2023. That then turns a red flag in my.
so what are you hearing from the design and build side?
So I guess it's all over the board. So I always like to say in 2020, you can't compare your business in 2020 to 2023 or 2024 because if you do that, we had a pretty good run in 2020, 2021. But I think all in all, I think the landscape business in general is pretty solid. I think the landscape lighting business is pretty solid. I don't think it, depending on where you are in the United States, I think Texas, Florida, California, those areas always are growing. Some people in the Midwest are a little concerned, but all in all, I think we're in a steady industry and we're there for steady growth over the next five plus years.
What I've seen, all the forecasts are really strong. Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
How would you say I'm curious, the rise of like smart bulbs and smart tech, how has that influenced your product offerings?
Great question. So we're
Has
looking
it
at
at
we're
all,
looking.
or
It is actually so. Um, in our industry, we're slow to change, if you will. Right. So it's always been the same bull. It's always been the same wired transformer. So we offer a product, and a couple of other people out there offer a very similar product called a smart Wi-Fi transformer, which ours is called Jarvis, which you're able to do 3 zones and up to 300 watts. It's been very popular out there. Where in fact it's so popular, we're going to expand it to a 600 watt zonable transformer. But as far as
wow,
smart bulbs and able to control your bulbs via Wi-Fi, we haven't had that great success in this industry yet. That's something that our engineers are working on. I think that's a hole in our industry and something that I think that high-end design build contractors want. It's the
yeah,
medium contractor that's still scruffing their face, thinking of themselves like I'm okay with a timer and a photo cell and it turns on and turns off. That's fine. But there's other people in this industry that are starting to add landscape lighting to it. The home integrators starting to add to it. The design build contractor really wants it, but again, that medium spot, the hardscaper was like, no, I don't want that.
I'm surprised. I mean, I know personally, my entire house is decked out with smart lighting. It's my wife
Mm-hmm.
and I are obsessed, so I would imagine it would translate into the outdoor space as well.
Do you have
I'm kind
outdoor
of
lighting,
surprised to
Mike?
hear that it's only a little bit, but they are smart bulbs. They're
I
just
know a
some
guy.
uplights, but
Ah.
yeah, do you now? We'll exchange numbers at the end of the
Okay, that's fair.
Ah, great. Well, and so one of the so I guess one of the things that you're saying is you're very customizable. You're very dedicated to helping these, other businesses grow. And you know, what if a landscape design and build professional came to you? What was your elevator pitch to them to get them on board with Dauer?
Well, I mean, my elevator pitch to really anybody, including a homeowner, is you think about the amount of money and the time that you spend in your home, right? Outdoor barbecues, enjoying the fire pit in the summer, or an outdoor movie. And then you come home and you spend, whether you live in a teepee or you live in $1 billion home, and you spend X amount of dollars on landscape, trees, shrubs, hardscape. You're really doing yourself a disservice when you don't light it up. And that 1 second of if that contractor doesn't have photos, then certainly we're there to help them supply photos of things that they can offer that homeowner. Do a demo. Get your manufacturers involved with us, or get your contractors involved with Dauer. Get your contractors involved with, if it's not Dauer, somebody else, because you're really missing a heck of an opportunity. And one of the things that I also like to say, this is a long elevator, but bottom line is that you can make a heck of a lot of money, put it in landscape lighting, and it's very easy and simple to do. There's no worries about fire. There's no worries about not making code. There's you drive around any neighborhood and you see, how many homes do you see with professional grade landscape lighting? You might see solar, but how many homes do you have out there? And then the other thing I always like to tell contractors is, because this is the number one question they ask me: how do I find this business? How do I get a new homeowner? My answer to that is you don't.
It's
And the reason
existing.
why you don't is because most contractors already have a book of business. Go out there and offer a special on lighting. Go offer how to do a demo correctly. Go offer, you know, can I just go light? I love this tree out in your front yard, Mr. and Mrs. Jones. Would you mind if I just lit that one tree up just because I want to see it? And most times, design build contractors have an unbelievable great reputation amongst their community members. So it doesn't hurt to go out there and revisit the people you already did business with. And those are the things
Well,
that
and
I would suggest.
I guess I was thinking, yeah, upsell it while you're selling the patio, while you're selling these things.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that could, I mean, I lived in Scotland for a while, and our winters were really dark. And I was like, it'll make your house feel bigger. You know, any windows that you have,
Mhm.
even you don't even have to be outside to get benefit from your outdoor lighting. It actually comes through your windows, and you're able to enjoy your landscaping, your outdoor spaces while you're inside, just looking out your window. Um,
100%.
so no, I I think a lot of contractors, are can be stressed on. I see it on these Facebook groups that this person advertising this patio at this price. How can they do that? How am I going to compete? But it's offering these unique solutions that can help them not have to compete. If you're giving
Well,
good service and showing them custom products like those bullards that you talked about, the buffalo on the I love the
right?
buffalo on the
Yeah,
grass,
yeah.
that is something unique that differentiates yourself amongst,
Absolutely, absolutely. You made that very well said, and a lot of contractors sometimes are afraid to ask for that next business, right? Because the number one thing that's always cut out in a project outside is the first thing is landscape lights. The next thing is outdoor audio, and the next thing out is a pond, right? They always keep the irrigation system in and the trees and all the beautiful things around it, but then they get lost in that. So there's a couple ways you can help the homeowner out in that decision. Number one, you can have the contractor lay the wire because wire is pretty inexpensive, and as long as you keep a plan of where that wire is, at least you can come back and check it out. And then the second thing, of course, is demos. A lot of contractors don't use that demo to their advantage. And when I say a demo, it's regardless if it's a giant home, it's 8, 9 fixtures. You put it in on half the house and you leave it there like the puppy dog syndrome. You leave the dog there on Wednesday, you come back and rip it out on Monday. It'll be shocking for the amount of people that actually buy landscape lighting because it's somebody stole their beauty in the front of their home. So there's a lot of tricks of the trade,
I've
and if
never
yeah, you never heard that.
I've never heard the puppy dog syndrome. That would kill me if somebody left a puppy with me for a few
Right.
days and then
And
took
then if
him
somebody
away.
came, and then all of a sudden the puppy was gone on Monday, your kids and whomever might be very upset that you got rid of the dog. It's the same thing outside. So
Oh
all
my
of a sudden,
goodness.
half your
Yeah.
home is like your neighbors, and you come home on a Saturday and like, wow, that's pretty nice. And on Monday, it's gone. So we do that. We teach
Yeah.
that
That's
a
a good
lot.
point.
And
Yeah.
the other thing is that what we can do is that if you have contractors listening to this that have never ever put in landscape lighting, or God forbid you subbed it out to somebody else, we would be more than happy to come to your job site, or we'll do a design service through our customer service support team that will take Google Maps. It's not the best way to do it because the best way to do it is on site, but we can give you just enough tools to close that job.
Fantastic. No, that's a great add-on too, because I think that, we don't always get to see the landscapes in the dark. And so you don't know and if you don't have a demo kit like you're talking about and you're trying to get started at this, it does help to have, you guys help with your expert opinion on how to do it. Um, I know I've always found it's been helpful to use like a landscape lighting designer But again, the project has to warrant the cost and things like that. So that's
Sure,
a great service.
sure. And
How does Dauer handle or approach sustainability, and what initiatives are in place to reduce that impact, the environmental impact?
well, so all of our products meet the highest criteria of that. So a couple of things. So when we have a defective product, so we just don't throw that product away. We actually we bring that product back to Dauer, and then we recycle that product. So all of our LED diodes and our chips are not only wildlife approved, but they're FCC rated. In our industry as a whole, as far as recyclability, there really hasn't been much legislature on how to do that. So we
Okay.
just try to partner with our distributors and our contractors to do the right thing when it comes to if there is a product out there that needs to come back. So, for example, we have wildlife product going into sustainability. So we have wildlife product that meets those wildlife criteria. So the turtles can breed, and we have turtle safe lights. We have fish rated underwater life products that are rated that way. So
That's awesome. Yeah, I know around me, I live in the Outer Banks right on the coast, and there's a lot of turtle nesting areas, and I know how much of an impact that makes out in these areas, and it just kills nests. It gives them no chance. It blinds them, it confuses them. So that's wonderful to hear.
we're one of the few manufacturers that do that, and that's we try to. That's another product that came with us. Which is wildlife safety, different products of that. Here in Colorado, we're a big dark sky community, so we want to make sure that we
Hmm.
can see the stars and the moon outside without light pollution. So we do have a
Totally.
series of dark sky types of products. So if you do live in a community that does require that, so instead of uplights, we use downlights, and instead of certain path lights, we make sure that there is no glare effects on those types of products.
Wonderful.
I'm really excited that you guys are launching your new divisions in the lead up to our event. I didn't know that, and that's
I
really
know you didn't.
exciting.
In fact, nobody knew that.
Ah!
You guys are the first people that I've
Uh-oh.
told, other than my sales team. So I'm pretty excited about it too.
Well, you heard it here first, everybody.
I know, I
You
was
guys
going to
did
say,
hear it
is it
here
okay
first.
to air this?
Absolutely, commercial or Omni, we're pretty pumped.
Wow, that is
Anybody needs a sales
fantastic.
job,
Well,
call me.
yeah, yeah. Need more salespeople. Well, that's good to know too, because, everybody, one of the things that I think that has been really great for COVID, or because of COVID, is that it's made people realize that, you need to do what you love doing. And I've seen a lot of people moving around, and I think it's great. Everybody should love their jobs, and I think I've noticed for too long that people didn't.
no,
So, really, great opportunity. There's so many options in our industry. You know, if you don't love your job, there's plenty of jobs out there. You
yeah,
know, go and see what Dower has to offer.
absolutely. I really appreciate that. So, indeed,
Do you have a Do you have a favorite product?
that's a boy. Nobody's ever asked me that question. Do I have a favorite product? You know what my favorite product is? And this is might come off as a salesman comment. I really don't. What makes me get out of bed every day is watching a contractor that's never put it in the ground saying, you know what, Tom, I didn't believe you that I could make money doing this. And then all of a sudden they have a lighting division 4 years later. People that
Wow.
Oh, wow.
say, "Hey, I did $10,000. Now I did $53,000." So as there's products that I don't like and that I can't believe that we sell in our catalog, and I'm not bashful about that. But you know what? It's not what I like. It's what the end consumer likes, and it's about what the contractor likes. I mean, so to me, Dauer has phenomenal products. We have phenomenal quality. Our defective ratio is very low, which makes all of us happy. So I don't
Mhm.
necessarily have one product that just says, "Wow, that's awesome." Everybody has their own thing.
Well, But to your point, I think this is the thing. We need to upsell lighting. We
Hmm.
need to upsell these decorative touches that make everything, you know, more more for the clients, and it also helps our businesses. So thank
That
you
was
for doing your part and doing the design. I think really um, will help, contractors take that next step. Um, I think that's a great service offering to get people started. So, um, so let's say we have some people listening that go, okay, I'm ready to try this. Do they call you, Tom? Who do they call at Dower?
you know what's cool about Dauer is everybody answers their phone. So we're not big into titles. You can be call the janitor, you can call Amy or production people. But yeah, so you can go online at www.dowermanufacturing.com and fill out a form to contact you. And we will certainly contact you within 24 hours. And that's probably the best way to get a hold of somebody at Dauer. It goes directly
Okay.
into my email immediately, and then I delegate it off, or I'll even pick up the phone and call. The owner's picking up the call and doing it. It really depends who you're going to get that particular day. We don't have territory salespeople. We have territory relationship people. So you might find somebody, for example, Mike, you live in New York. The person that covers New York actually lives in Texas. So that he covers Texas, New York, Canada. So we do it by relationships. So
Hmm.
we're very easy to talk to. We're very blunt. We're very appreciative. And know that when you do business with Dower, you're doing business with 43 families, and 43 families
Oh,
that say thank you, and we really care, because if you guys didn't buy Dower, we would have less than 43 families to feed, and that's really our goal,
oh,
is to
I
be
love
that way.
that. It's
So
a great perspective to have
thank
on
it
you.
business.
is. Well, and I love the customizable features and the buffalo I keep thinking about.
I think you need to
um,
get one,
I
Ansley.
know, I think we need a
Angela,
buffalo.
I'll send you one. I don't have any pull up to University of Colorado, so I can't get Deion Sanders to sign your ballot or anything like
That's
that.
okay.
But I can maybe work on it between now and January when I see you guys.
Hell, I'll take a buffalo too. You get a
Yeah,
buffalo.
no.
We'll
You
get
get a
the two
buffalo.
buffaloes. I don't know where you're going to put it
Two
at your
buffaloes
Outer Banks in
coming.
New York.
Well, and the other thing that I've talked to Gina about is we have a nonprofit that we're doing a construction project for, and it's going to be on the Friday after our event. Our event ends on the Thursday. And she has said that you guys are going to be putting in some product there. So, if anybody that's listening, wants to, come and meet you at the event, but also, help the installation at this nonprofit job. It's going to be in Cumming, Georgia, not far from Duluth, where the convention is. Come by and meet Tom and the team at Dower and come and help us install some. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's going to be a really neat opportunity. We're looking forward to it as well. And that you know you can only show you so much when you're at a trade show. So this gives you the opportunity to come out there and actually see how to wire products. Hopefully y'all will stay around at night so we can actually demonstrate the product at night a little bit and gets you that wow
Good point.
punch that do that.
Maybe we should do one the night before, the day before, and do one in person so that we can see. Yeah.
We're
Oh,
in
that's a
for
good point. Let's figure that out.
That's a good idea.
We need to see it at night now.
you got to see it at night.
I know. Okay.
That's how
Okay,
that's
we have
how,
to work
how
on
a
that.
lot of you guys do our best work is at night.
Yeah. Okay, good. Uh, well, good. We're so happy to have you as a sponsor and look forward to seeing all these new cool products in person at Sync Live. Tom, thanks for joining us.
Thank
And
you.
Mike, thanks for joining us. Yeah, so excited to have you and look forward to meeting you in person.
All right. Have a good day. We're
Thanks for
looking
being
forward to it
on.
as well. Thank you.
You
Yeah,
too.
can't wait.
Okay.
Thanks, Tom.
Bye.